Our industries have gone a long way from where they used to be from the time Ghana gained independence till today. We have seen a lot of industries spring up in many of the city areas in the nation. Tema being an example of a place that is heavily induced with industries that produce different types of things. Other places like North Carnation, Circle are also known for having some industries there which produce on a large scale things that are needed by the nation. But even up to today, there are still certain products that are imported which can be made locally, and we look into it and try to understand why it is so. In the past, people used to argue that there was no reason why we should be importing toothpicks when we have a lot of sticks around here to turn into the toothpicks ourselves. But even today, we still import cornflakes. And as strange as it seems, people are not bothered about this. Now, we are not saying importing cornflakes is bad or is wrong. We are just saying if we are, as a nation, are producing maize and are harvesting maize in bulk, why can't we take it to the next level by making cornflakes from this same maize that we harvest? Is it that our industries are not willing to turn maize into cornflakes? Or is it that the industries are not going to do it to a certain value that will be appreciated by the locals in this nation? How many people in this country, or how many factories, or how many companies are making cornflakes? And why is it not as popular as the ones we see around and consume every day? The industries also have to note that for them to have a demand on their products, they have to be done to a certain level that will be appreciated by the nationals. We say this because if cornflakes, which is imported, is stemming around 12 cedis, 15 cedis, or 20 cedis for a box of cornflakes, we could, as a nation, make cornflakes available to more people and save on the extra produce that is wasted after harvest. And also, we could reduce the price because it is made here and importation prices will not affect it. Imagine if cornflakes was going for 5 cedis or 6 cedis and it was the same taste and value as that which is imported. This will go a long way, a very long way, to change the way the economy is doing, so that we would even export over our imports. Because that's the way, and one of the ways, our economy is kept stable. We already know that the value of export over import is very necessary if the nation doesn't want to be low in the sector of economics. So back to the cornflakes example, if we ourselves are making cornflakes and making it at such a value that it is admired and appreciated by us in this nation, then we can even look at not only producing for this nation and saving money on that which we import, but we can also look at extensively making more money by also exporting these same cornflakes that we are using here. I'm sure that the nations around us like Togo, Cote d'Ivoire and Benin, if they see that we are also producing good cornflakes at an affordable price, they would purchase from us. And there are even nations which are not close to us that will be very interested. You see, the difference between the ones we import and the ones we may be making here is that those ones have a good name, and they didn't start by having a good name and by being popular, but they started by working on the quality and not only the quantity. those in this industry should take that as a note and not see producing things as something just for money. When you are turning a raw material into a finished good, you have to make that finished good not only look attractive but also be attractive in its value. We say this because there are certain products that look very good to the eye and are so catchy that you may purchase them in bulk, but when you go home and try them, you'll be very dissatisfied. Taking a cue from this example, those in our industry are advised to place quality not only in the attraction of the packages and in the beauty with which it is packaged, but also in the product itself. When I taste the product which looks good and yet does not taste good, I am not likely to buy it again. But when I purchase one which is very good in quality and may not be very attractive in its packaging, I would definitely try it again, though I might not be interested in it like I should. Now, we are not saying the industry players should make their products very good and neglect the packaging, because packaging is also very important. Mentioning the fact that it is good for advertisement purposes, and it's also good to create a brand that will be appreciated and that will be known worldwide. Looking at this, therefore, it is good to place importance on making the product very excellent and also making its packaging attractive. There are many more products which we import, which it's still confusing to find out that we are importing them. We don't know whether the importers are the ones who are refusing to get those that are made from Ghana, or if it is that this nation is not producing them, or if it is that they just don't want to purchase them from these producers because they don't do it to that taste they want. Importers should also help the nation by trying out some of these local products and supplying them to stores if their taste and their quality is good enough. When you import products that can be made locally, you are building the revenue and the strength of currency of the nation from which you are purchasing. And in that same way, you are making yours weaker. Why wouldn't we make our currency stronger by producing those things? And also, let's find a way to make it attractive to the people of this nation, so that they will not be ashamed when they go to a shelf and see a product made in Ghana and another one made in another country and be shy to take the one that is from here. Let's do it in such a way that they would be able to quickly grasp the ones that are made in this nation for a lot of reasons. It being number one, its value and its quality, and number two, its affordability. I'm sure that if any product has the same value on the shelf as one that is being imported and yet its price is low, people will go for it over the other one. Also, we have to remember that by doing this, we are making ourselves to be developed in our minds, because we'll be telling consumers here that we are now trustworthy enough to do certain things well. We should also commend the efforts that are being done by those industries that are already in play. There was a time where I tasted palm oil and cooking oil from one that was made in Ghana, and I was very, very glad it was made in Ghana, because I compared it to the one that was being imported, and I saw the difference. It was very good. Let's do it in such a way that we would be so glad that we as a nation are doing things on our own. This is not to say we should avoid relationships with other nations or avoid purchasing from them. No, it is good too. But we shouldn't just let it be the main thing. We would also like to commend those who are already doing that which they are doing for this nation, and we would like to give them the go ahead to try new things. Milo and milk is a good example of some of these things that are being done. But these factories, if they can, should also add more products. We see a lot of things being done locally, but then we want it to go to the next level. Even Gary is produced here and it's made well. But we can do Gary in such a way that it would be a whole new thing to a foreigner. And it will be loved by that foreigner who would go to his country and want to import it to his country. There are those who are doing a lot, and we are grateful for them. But let's do our best to produce more locally. And then also, we have to look at those farmers who would produce these products for the agriculture, for the industry sector, who rely straight on agriculture. You know that if an industry is supposed to make something here, then the raw material would come from here for him to be able to do it in a way he would like to. If the industry wants to, for example, make cornflakes and get cornflakes which it comes from maize, is seen to be difficult because, for example, we don't produce the maize properly, or we are not bringing the right yield of maize. This industry will be discouraged from doing the cornflakes. But if the industry takes notice that we are producing the best of maize, the best of yellow corn with good value, they'll be interested in partnering with the right retailers and farmers to produce them with these raw materials, which will later be converted into the finished goods which we want. We should also look at how to keep some of these harvests from spoiling. And also, the industries should also look at how to make their products last longer than they could without adding too many chemicals and these types of food additives that are not always very helpful. But we can do it in a way where it will last longer, so that the industries don't make much losses, since it's going to be a new thing that will be introduced into the system. This is the way to keep them from being discouraged, because maybe the industry may be willing to do, for example, cornflakes, but let's say the people are not purchasing it as fast as they want to, and this would mean that maybe they would exceed the expiry dates, and most of that which they've produced will turn into losses. So the industry, if they focus on making the expiry dates longer, not just by writing it on it, but actually by making the product last longer, then they will make less losses, and we can continue with this aim and vision to produce more locally. Remember, we have to open our eyes and not be satisfied with the level in which we are right now, though it is a good one compared to where we were some years ago. The main point is to make sure that we are moving at a steady pace, or at a speed that is quite accelerating. When we do this, we would have all the forces of nature working with us to make sure that this nation is not just classified as a third world country, but as a good developing first class country. One way or the other, we will have to grow, and by making these decisions, we will reach where we want to be. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.